What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday. Actually, I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's actually Saturday night. It's beautiful here in Vegas, and it's actually, we're gonna pretend it's Sunday. Okay, so just roll with me and humor me. Day 84 on Sunday, and earlier today I bought a cup of coffee, and I promised myself I'd come back and get a second cup for a free refill. Well, actually a 50-cent refill. And for Lonnie McLean out there, it's actually Boulder Station. It's not the Venetian. I don't know. Sometimes in the morning when I'm not quite awake and I'm just driving and following Siri's directions, I'm not really paying attention where I'm going. And I pulled into this place, and I walked in, and it's kind of cool. I have a knack, just been blessed. I've got this game of blackjack down. So, every once in a while when I'm out here, I'll hit the tables, and I try not to be greedy. I just pick up $100 or $200, and it pays for the plane ticket or a hotel or the rental car and cover some expenses and stuff. And it's maybe some cigars or whatever. But they had $10 tables here, and usually you can't find anything with less than $25 minimum tables. And that's kind of hard because I have a theory that I use, and it's something I learned in my statistics class in college, that told you how a guaranteed way to win at roulette and blackjack. And it works. I'm just telling you, it works. But you have to have a lot of cash with you, and just in case you lose a few hands, you got to keep doubling down on your losses until you win. Someday I'll share with you the secret there. But anyways, these $10 tables make it fun to play, and I just I took them for a couple $100, and now I'm heading out. But I wanted to share something with you guys because I know that quite often, we've been talking about prayers being answered and stuff, and this is kind of cool, man. I've been really dwelling on this, thinking about it, and reading scripture on it. God is not bound by time. When God created this place called Earth, heaven, and all the universes and galaxies and solar systems and stuff, He lives outside of all of that. So time is something that we don't have a lot of. You and I, we're human. Unfortunately, we're in a long line, and somewhere down the road, sometime we're going to be in front of the line, and it's going to be our time, So, we stress over that, and rightfully so. But God is not bound by time. He has infinite time. He has an abundance of time. It's forever into eternity. And that is one of the reasons why He has to develop patience in us. And He just doesn't answer prayers all the time on the spot, because some of your asks and prayers are big, and He needs to prepare you for them. And since He has an abundance of time and an infinite amount of time, He also has an abundant amount of answers and things that He wants to share with you for in infinity and beyond, for eternity. So He cannot just drop those answers hot on you sometimes. It's just so overwhelming because of the abundance of favor that He wants to rain down on you with blessings. And so what I wanted to share with you is just recognize that He's not interested in how we feel about time, right? He's more interested in our character and developing our character for the long run. And just know that if it's taken a long time for a prayer to be answered, it's very, very likely that you're very close to the answer. You're very close to getting it answered. And two, rest assured the answer is going to be a lot more than what you asked for. In Scripture, He says He will give you more than you ever asked for. And it's sprinkled throughout Scripture, examples in front of thousands of people. In Scripture, it says often that when He spoke to people, He'd speak to crowds of 5,000 and 10,000 people. But back in those days, good, bad, or indifferent, they didn't count women and children in the audience. They were only counting men. So in the Bible, when you see it was that somebody was speaking to 5,000 people, it was 5,000 men. But if they were there with their spouses and their kids, it could have been 10 to 15 to 20,000 people. These were massive audiences. And what they had to do in those times when Jesus was speaking, He had disciples spread out like every 50 to 100 yards. And then they would hear Him speak, and then they'd reiterate the speech and to the next person, And so it was very hard to communicate with big crowds like that. But when He fed crowds in those big audiences, there was always an abundance left over. He never just gave them enough. He gave them more than they needed, more than they could eat and take at that time, leftovers. They took them home in doggy bags or whatever, doggy barrels, whatever they stored that stuff in. So my point is this: just recognize God's not bound by time. and he's got an infinite amount of favor and blessings for you. And if it's taken a while for those prayers to be answered, two things: know you're really, really close to getting the answer, and two, it's probably because he's laying something down at your feet that's going to be much more than you ever expected. So be brave, be strong, go get what's yours, whether it's a 50-cent refill on a Starbucks or a couple $100 or a couple of nickels from the blackjack tables. Go out and have fun. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.